Have you ever started your day with a simple breakfast? Maybe a boiled egg or an omelet, paired with a few slices of fruit on the side? It feels healthy, right? Light, fresh, balanced. And for many of us, it's been a morning routine for years. After all, eggs are packed with protein, and fruits are nature's candy, filled with vitamins and color. But what if I told you that this very combination, this healthy breakfast, could be silently causing the pain and stiffness in your legs later in the day? I know it sounds surprising, even a little frustrating. You try to do what's right. You avoid greasy fast food, drink more water, eat more fruits, and yet your knees still ache when you get up from the couch. Your calves cramp during your afternoon walk, and by evening your legs feel heavy, tired, and just not quite right. You might be wondering, is it just age? And the honest answer is, no, not entirely. In fact, what you eat together might be quietly working against you, especially if you're over 60. Your digestion is slower, more sensitive, and more reactive to certain food combinations. And yes, eggs and some fruits, when eaten in the same meal, can be one of those harmful combos. Let me explain why this matters. Eggs, when eaten alone or with the right partners like vegetables or whole grains, are fantastic. They're rich in protein, B vitamins, and healthy fats that support your muscles and joints. But when that egg is paired with certain fruits, particularly acidic or high-sugar fruits, it can disrupt your digestion, slow down the breakdown of protein, and cause fermentation in your gut. That's when things go wrong. The gas builds up, inflammation creeps in, your joints get stiff, and your legs feel like they're working against you. Not because you're doing something wrong, but because no one ever told you that some food pairings just don't sit well together, especially for our bodies as they age. Let's start with the first one, oranges. A fresh glass of orange juice with your morning eggs sounds healthy, right? But here's the catch. Oranges are highly acidic. When that acid meets the dense protein in eggs, it slows digestion dramatically. Instead of breaking down smoothly, the food sits longer in your stomach, starts to ferment, and creates an inflammatory environment that your joints really don't like. Some people don't notice right away, but by mid-afternoon, they feel tight in their hips, sore in their knees, or bloated and sluggish. It's not just the stomach that feels it, your legs do too. I once had a subscriber, Mrs. Mai from California, tell me that every time she had eggs with a little orange or grapefruit for breakfast, she would feel a strange aching in her legs by 2 p.m. At first, she blamed it on gardening or old injuries. But once she switched to a different fruit, less acidic, easier to digest, the pain simply faded away. So don't worry, this isn't about giving up eggs or never touching fruit again. It's about learning what goes together and what doesn't. And once you understand that, your meals can start to work for you instead of against you. Now, let's move on to another fruit that might surprise you, bananas. Soft, sweet, convenient. For many seniors, a banana with breakfast is a go-to. It's easy to chew, gentle on the stomach, and full of potassium, which is great for the heart and muscles in the right context. But when you combine bananas with eggs, especially in the same meal, something sneaky happens. Bananas are naturally high in sugars, mostly fructose and glucose, and they digest much faster than the protein and fat in eggs. This mismatch in digestion speed can confuse your gut. The sugars start to ferment while the eggs are still sitting in your stomach, slowing everything down. That fermentation creates gas and pressure, which for a sensitive body can lead to bloating, joint tightness, or even cramps in the legs. You might feel it as a strange heaviness in your thighs, or a pulling sensation behind your knees when you go for a walk later in the day. It's subtle, but it builds. Many people chalk it up to just getting old, but really, it might be breakfast working against them. Now I want to talk about pineapple. Yes, that juicy, tropical fruit that tastes like sunshine. Pineapple is known for its anti-inflammatory properties because it contains bromelain, an enzyme that can help reduce swelling. But here's the thing, bromelain is very powerful, and when it interacts with the protein in eggs, it can irritate the lining of your stomach, especially if you already have a sensitive digestive system. The result? You might not feel it immediately, but within a few hours, you could experience that familiar tightness in your lower legs, or even sharp, nerve-like pain in your calves. Some folks report feeling flushed, warm, or uncomfortable without knowing why. And again, it's not because pineapple is bad. It's because of when and how you eat it. So if you enjoy pineapple, the best way to benefit from its natural healing powers is to eat it on its own, maybe between meals or as a light snack later in the day. Give your digestive system time to reset before introducing heavy proteins like eggs. Let me tell you a quick story. Mr. Fook, a sweet gentleman from New Jersey, reached out to share that he'd been having eggs and banana slices on toast nearly every morning for a year. He loved how quick and filling it was. But he also noticed that by the afternoon, his knees felt swollen and his legs ached more than usual. His doctor told him his joints looked fine, but the pain didn't go away. After one of our videos, he tried switching to eggs with sautéed spinach instead. And guess what? Within just 10 days, that deep leg pain was nearly gone. And that's what I want you to hear today. Your body isn't working against you. It's trying to talk to you. Sometimes all it takes is a small shift in your routine to feel like yourself again. Not younger, not perfect, just more comfortable, more mobile, and more in tune with the wisdom your body already holds. Now that we understand how certain fruits like oranges, bananas, and pineapple can quietly stir up trouble when combined with eggs, let's keep going, because there's still a few more fruits that might be affecting you without you even realizing it. So now that we've talked about oranges, bananas, and pineapple, let's look at another little fruit that often seems innocent: grapes. They're small, sweet, easy to pop in your mouth without a second thought. Many seniors enjoy a few grapes with breakfast, maybe as a side to eggs and toast. It feels light and refreshing, but underneath that sweetness, grapes can actually cause some unexpected trouble, especially for your legs. You see, the skin of grapes is naturally tough for the body to break down, and when grapes are eaten with eggs, rich in protein and fat, the combination slows digestion even more. Instead of gliding through your system, the food sits. The natural sugars in the grapes begin to ferment. That fermentation process releases gas and disrupts your gut balance, which in turn can trigger inflammation throughout the body, especially in the joints. And because our legs carry the weight of our day, they're often the first place we feel that inflammation. It might come as stiffness in the knees or a vague ache in the calves. Some people say it feels like their legs are buzzing or pulsing in a strange way by mid-afternoon. And again, it's not the grape's fault. It's the timing. On their own, or in a fruit salad hours away from a protein-heavy meal, grapes are lovely. But with eggs, it's a quiet recipe for discomfort. Next, let's talk about mangoes. Juicy, tropical, naturally sweet. They feel like a treat, don't they? And for some, mango slices next to scrambled eggs can seem like a perfectly fine breakfast. But mangoes are very high in natural sugar, especially fructose. When combined with a slow-digesting protein like egg, that sugar doesn't break down quickly. It lingers, ferments, and creates internal heat. What some traditional cultures describe as Trunkenheit, or internal imbalance. What does that look like in real life? Maybe you start the day feeling fine, but by lunchtime your legs feel heavier, your knees are a little tight, and you feel just a bit more drained than usual. You might think it's the weather or a poor night's sleep, but sometimes it's the mango. I once had a lovely chat with Mrs. Kim, 70 years old and full of energy. She told me she loved starting her day with mango, yogurt, and a boiled egg. It's so colorful, she said. Makes me feel young. But she also struggled with sharp knee pain that came and went without explanation when she spaced out her fruit and protein. Fruit in the morning, eggs in the afternoon. The pain began to fade. I didn't realize food timing mattered so much, she told me. Now I listen to how my body reacts, and it's been a big difference. And that brings us to another surprising fruit, cherries. Especially tart cherries, which are often praised for their anti-inflammatory benefits. And it's true, they can help reduce joint pain, but only when eaten alone or at the right time. When cherries are eaten alongside eggs, the acid and fiber in them can slow digestion just enough to cause problems. Instead of helping, they may actually add to digestive strain, leading to bloating, discomfort, and low-grade inflammation that shows up in the knees and lower back later in the day. It doesn't happen to everyone, but for those with sensitive joints, it can make a big difference. Let's talk about one last fruit that often gets labeled as super healthy: kiwi. It's bright, refreshing, and packed with vitamin C. And there's no doubt that kiwi has real health benefits. It can boost immunity, support digestion, and even help with skin health. But when it comes to pairing it with eggs, especially for seniors, it can quietly stir up more trouble than comfort. Kiwi is highly acidic. It also contains a group of enzymes, actinidin being the strongest, that can break down proteins. Now that might sound like a good thing, but here's where it gets tricky. When actinidin meets the protein in eggs, it can lead to excessive digestive activity too early in the process. For younger bodies, this might go unnoticed, but for aging digestive systems, it can mean cramping, bloating, or just a feeling of something not sitting right in the gut. That discomfort, once again, doesn't stay in the belly. It moves through the body, often showing up as heaviness or soreness in the legs. A few people even report a feeling of restless legs later in the evening after having kiwi with eggs in the morning. It's not always severe, but it adds up, especially when these food pairings happen daily, quietly stacking discomfort in the background of your routine. I know it might feel overwhelming to hear all this. Fruits that seem healthy, a breakfast that's been your go-to for years, and now it sounds like it's all wrong. But I want to pause here and say, you haven't done anything wrong. You've done your best. You've chosen real foods, natural foods. That already puts you ahead of the game. Now, we're just making gentle adjustments, shifting when you eat certain things, how you combine them, and that small awareness can open the door to bigger comfort. So what can you do instead? If you love eggs in the morning, pair them with foods that help your body digest protein more smoothly. Try steamed spinach, cooked mushrooms, a slice of avocado, or even a little sautéed tomato. These support digestion, reduce inflammation, and give your body the space it needs to use the egg's protein in the best way possible. And if you love fruit, don't stop eating it. Just enjoy it on its own. Have it first thing when you wake up, or a couple of hours after a meal as a light snack. That way, your stomach can focus on one job at a time, and you give your body a break from digestive overload. Mr. Ben, a retired teacher from Saigon, told me something beautiful once. He said, "I stopped mixing fruit with eggs, and now my legs don't complain when I walk to the cafe." It wasn't a big change, but it gave his body room to feel better. And maybe that's where healing really begins, not with extremes, not with giving things up, but with small, gentle shifts. Listening to your body, letting it breathe, letting it rest between meals, and offering your knees and your digestion the kindness they've been quietly asking for all along. Now that we've uncovered the hidden effects of these fruit and egg combinations, I want to take a moment to shift our focus from what to avoid to what you can do. Because knowing what not to eat is helpful, but knowing how to replace it with something that actually supports your body, that's where the real power is. You see, your body, especially as you get older, thrives on rhythm. Not just what you eat, but when you eat it. Just like a garden needs watering at the right time of day, your digestive system has its own natural clock. In the morning, it's waking up. It's delicate, gentle, still getting its engine going. And when we ask it to process both protein and acid-heavy fruits at once, it's a bit like throwing cold water on a warm flame. It sputters, slows down, and struggles. But if you give it time, give it space, it thrives. Imagine this. You start your morning with a gentle cup of warm water or herbal tea, maybe a few berries on their own, or half a banana if your stomach is feeling light. You wait 20 or 30 minutes. Allow your body to absorb and awaken. Then you enjoy your egg, maybe with a slice of avocado, some steamed greens, or even a bit of brown rice if you're feeling hungry. That small change in timing can completely change how your body processes those foods. And your knees will feel it. That old familiar ache that creeps in around 2 p.m., it might not show up. The heaviness in your thighs after your morning walk, it might start to fade. Not because you've taken a pill or started a strict diet, but because you've given your body the rhythm it's been quietly asking for. And here's something else I want you to know. You don't have to be perfect to feel better. You don't have to remember every detail or worry about making a mistake at breakfast. Just begin. Begin with one change. Maybe tomorrow morning, you skip the fruit with your eggs. Maybe the next day, you try eggs with spinach or mushrooms instead. And maybe the day after that, you start to notice, my legs don't feel so heavy today. That's how healing really works. It's not loud. It doesn't always come with big signs or sudden breakthroughs. Sometimes it's quiet, subtle, like a little more ease when you bend down to tie your shoes, like getting up from your chair without holding onto the armrest, like going for an afternoon stroll and enjoying it. And all of that begins not just with what's on your plate, but with how you treat your body, with patience, with curiosity, and most importantly, with kindness. And if you're still wondering, can something this small really make a difference? I want to remind you that the biggest changes often begin with the tiniest decisions. Choosing to eat fruit separately, swapping mango slices for sautéed vegetables, giving your body space to digest instead of crowding your plate. These aren't restrictions, they're gifts. Little acts of love you offer your joints, your legs, and yourself. Because here's the truth no one says enough. You deserve to feel good in your body. Not just okay or not in pain, but good, comfortable, strong, capable. Whether you're 60, 70, or 90 years old, your body is still listening. It still wants to support you. And when you begin to support it, gently, consistently, it responds. Always. You may not notice it all at once, but one morning, you'll get up and realize your legs aren't as stiff. You'll walk to the kitchen without bracing yourself. You'll carry your groceries without needing to pause. And you'll smile, not because the pain is gone, but because you made that happen. Through care, through attention, through small but powerful choices. So let me ask you, what change will you try this week? Will you space out your fruit and eggs? Try a new breakfast combo like eggs with spinach and avocado. Maybe sip warm tea before eating to give your digestion a gentle start. Whatever it is, I'd love to hear it. Drop a comment below and share your experience. Your story could be the spark that encourages someone else. We're not just a community of viewers, we're a circle of support. A place where healing isn't just physical, it's emotional, communal, and deeply human. And if this video spoke to you, if it made you pause, reflect, or even just feel seen, please take a second to give it a thumbs up. It helps us reach more wonderful souls, just like you. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We're here every week with gentle reminders, simple tips, and real conversations about living well at every stage of life. You don't have to chase youth to feel strong. You don't have to go backwards to move forward. Every breath you take, every step you make with awareness and love, that's vitality. That's health. That's aging with grace. And remember, your legs have carried you through decades of life. Through laughter, through loss, through love. Now it's time to give something back. Not through pressure, not through punishment, but through nourishment, rest, and rhythm. So from all of us here at vitagohealth, thank you for showing up, for being curious, for believing that your best years aren't behind you. They're still unfolding. And as always, we leave you with this wish. Happy birthday to you at every age.